Bulletin from Press Center here on the Pulse, where Strategic Mobilization Limited is about to hold a news conference to respond to various allegations leveled against them by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. We're crossing over live shortly. My colleague Kenneth Jesse is on that beat for us, and he will be taking us through what key things is coming up at that news conference, which is about to start. Let me take you there live.
Anita.
An official of Strategic Mobilization Limited, they're about to hold a news conference. If you've been following the concerns, really, okay, I'm told they have started. So rather than give you a background, let me take you there live. I'll be back to give you a background why this is happening.
My name is Cephas Boyo. I am with Ohiniba Edusi Poku Esquire. We are the lawyers for Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited, SML. Also here with us are the technical officers from SML. And when we get to maybe where you ask technical questions, they will assist us to respond to them. Okay, so ordinarily, as lawyers, we do our talking in the courtroom. However, because of the barrage of misinformation and skewed investigations, especially by the OSP, and an agenda set by the OSP to use the media to run down SML. The reason we have called for this presser. Now, earlier this afternoon, we delivered a comprehensive response to the President of the Republic of Ghana on his directive for the contract between Ministry of Finance, GRA and SML to be terminated, which hinged largely on the report of the OSP. In the letter submitted to the President and also to the Attorney General, we provided documentary evidence to each and every paragraph and elaborated on the true and accurate picture of the GRA Ministry of Finance SML contract. We are confident that a review of the documents presented to the President and the AG would help them appreciate the matters and form a fair and independent opinion on the termination directive. Our goal today with you, the press, is not rhetoric, but also to provide clarity and evidence. Please note that we are here to provide you with evidence. Given the extreme, deliberate misinformation in the guise of investigation, and then also distortion and political coloration by the OSP of the facts concerning SML's operations, ownership, and institutional collaborations. We also seek to set the record straight based on official documentation from the Ghana Revenue Authority, the National Petroleum Authority, the Ghana Standards Authority, the Ministry of Finance itself, and other statutory institutions. Now, you see, the OSP is a fact-finding institution. Its mandate, we all know, is to investigate alleged corruption and corruption-related matters, and to present its findings and evidence before a court of competent jurisdiction for adjudication. That's simply what it is. So you cannot turn yourself into a judge, and that's exactly what OSP has done. And within its remit, it has sought to denounce individuals and, made it look like wrongdoing has happened even before it heads to court. That is what we are seeking to correct. We are here to respond directly to the OSP. As for what we have sent to the presidency, we expect that the presidency will take their time, look at the evidences that we have, the evidence that we have provided, and take a second look at the termination directive. Well, as for our client, the SML, well, if government chooses to terminate, all we'll just do is, our investment overlay is what government will have to pay us. Okay? If somebody wants their job, the person can, go ahead and take the job. But then they shouldn't seek to tarnish the image of SML in the quest of taking that job. That is what we are definitely not going to allow. So, in direct response to the OSP, please. We are here to respond directly to relevant portions. All the other things that he said that we deem not relevant, we will not respond to them. Now, in the OSP's press release, and their press actually, it was filled with insinuations, speculative remarks, innuendos, assumptions, and veiled accusations, rather than presenting clear facts and evidence to the Ghanaian people. Now, the relevant aspect of the OSP's report that merits our response is one, the SML was incorporated under a patronage model, even though it did not have previous experience in that area. Two, that the former finance minister, Mr. Ofori-Atta, allegedly cooked the deal for SML. Three, that SML did not provide any service or services to GRA that would justify the payment it received. Four, that SML operated in isolation and without institutional coordination. That number five, SML's role became redundant after the introduction of ICOMS. And lastly, that the contract between SML and the government of Ghana required parliamentary approval. We deem that all the plenty talk he did last week, these are the only relevant things that we will respond to. Now, I'll just give you a bit of the background to SML. Now, Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited is a wholly Ghanaian company dedicated to supporting the state in improving transparency, accuracy, and accountability in public revenue administration. SML has, from its inception, operated under full regulatory visibility, technical validation, and ministerial oversight. We shall demonstrate to you that our client and its operations have been lawful, technically sound, and nationally beneficial, and that the claims of impropriety or underperformance are inconsistent with the verified evidence provided by state agencies themselves. Now, the incorporation matters. Now, the OSP's assertion that Mr. Evans Edusei, the founder of Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited, was a proxy used for political patronage or illicit enrichment lacks factual and evidentiary foundation. The claim ignores verifiable documentation and business records demonstrating that Mr. Edusei is an independent and a long-established Ghanaian entrepreneur with a proven track record across multiple industries. Now, contrary to the OSP's insinuations, the establishment of SML in 2017 was a natural diversification step by the businessman with decades of experience in logistics, trade, and industrial systems. His credibility, capital base, and operational history, backed by existing entities such as Evans Timbers Limited and Evertex Logistics Limited, predates his engagement in technology-driven revenue assurance space. This is somebody who has been doing so well. He's a self-made person, way before the formation of SML. Mr. Edusei began his entrepreneurial career as a bulk importer of used clothes from Europe and the United States between 1988. You see, you are shocked. 1988. You see, you are shocked. And 2002. He later transitioned into timber processing and afforestation from 1995 to date. From 1995 to date. Mr. Evans Timbers is a free zones registered enterprise engaged in timber processing and export of finished woods products to Europe, Canada, USA, and Asia. His company, Evans Timbers, not only processes, it doesn't just process, but also finishes and exports its own products, reflecting vertical integration and industrial compliance. As a pioneer in afforestation, Mr. Edusei is documented among the few large-scale private contributors to forest regeneration programs. You can check it. You can fact-check what I'm saying right now. That Edusei owns perhaps the biggest teak plantation in Ghana. In 2003, Mr. Edusei established Evertex Logistics Company Limited. It's a company specializing in mining support services, heavy equipment supply, and stockpiling operations. The company supplied major multinational firms such as WBHO, South Africa, Newmont Ghana Limited, Goldfields Ghana Limited, and Anglo Gold Ashanti, demonstrating its established industrial and logistical footprints long before SML creation. You see somebody like this was used as political patronage. It's sad. You don't do this to ourselves. There is no evidence of political sponsorship, procurement influence, or financial impropriety linked to Mr. Edusei. You can check. If anybody has anything like that, let us know. His business profile, long-standing commercial reputation, and proven competence is regulated sectors refute any notion of political fronting. Mr. Edusei is a self-made industrialist whose integrity, business independence, and professional legacy render the OSP's claim unsubstantiated and contrary to the factual record. Now, how did he form SML in the first place? Now, the need for SML's contribution in revenue assurance was necessitated by Mr. Edusei's reading of the Auditor General's report between 2012 and 2016. So if somebody says that there is no need, please just refer the person to the Auditor General's report from 2012 to 2016. The need assessment were done there. The need for the service that Mr. Edusei rendered the country is in there. And all these reports were laid in Parliament. You can fact check that. Of course, we all know that all these reports annually goes to Parliament. Check them out and see whether the need wasn't there. The reports documented extensive control failures within the GRA Customs Division, missing declarations, undervaluations, forged exemptions, and unenforced bonds, costing the state over 1.67 billion in revenue losses. Given Mr. Edusei's credentials as enumerated, it is clear that this is not someone who could easily be used by Mr. Ofori-Atta to establish SML in the manner alleged by the OSP. And therefore, SML's establishment was there. It is a policy-driven corrective measure by Mr. Dusay. Now, I would like to go straight to the allegation by the OSP that SML did not provide any service, yet was paid so much money. He said this allegation has whipped up some sort of sentiments, as though Mr. Dusay just sat at home, he's crossed his legs, sipping on tea, he's not doing any work for government and just collecting money. And, the company was just used to siphon money from government. That is not true. And that's we are going to show you documentary evidence. And I'll borrow Sami Jemfi's words that, this is the presentation is, we are showing you evidence, Now, the allegation, OSP alleged that SML did not provide any service to GRA, yet was paid huge sums of money. This can be verified by official correspondence from the Ghana Revenue Authority itself. You see, we don't need to do this to our institutions. One person cannot sit in Ghana Revenue Authority and dole out money and give it to someone. No, it can never happen. It goes through a lot of processes. When you send reports, they will definitely they will verify, they will validate, they would, certify, and all that before you are paid. It doesn't, when you make, you throw it in there like that, they didn't do anything. SML didn't do anything, and they're just being paid money. The ordinary Ghanaian sitting there, of course, will be angry. And no, you see, we won't fault the journalists. Sometimes, journalists, you do your investigation. You may not have the capacity to find certain information. Okay? But when an investigative body like the OSP makes such assertion, then that is serious. That is serious. Now, I'd like to refer you to two key correspondents. Can I have the Ghana Revenue Public Affairs Statement on the 20th December 2023, please? Please. I want to share, give it to them, give it to all the journalists. I want Ghanaians to see what is in the document. I want Ghanaians to see it. And when somebody comes to stand there and then say all kinds of things without, throw all, kind of dust into the air, it's sad. Read for yourselves. Have independent mind. Look at that report, that letter. Also, I want you, I told you I'm going to give you documents. Please give me the 14th October 2025 letter, which confirms the position that SML actually worked. This is letter from GRA themselves. Official documents. Official documentation. Please give it to all the journalists. This is as recent as 14th of October. And this is a letter that immediately OSP saw, quickly went and arrested the lawyer that signed it. Look at that lawyer. Do you know how many years he is at the bar? Do you think he will just write anything like that? And you think the lawyer will just write something without fact-checking or even asking questions from the powers that be within the GRA setup? Why are we doing this to our institutions? So please, we are giving you all these documents. Then you see that it's clearly stated in there that SML worked. And their contract, all the performance that they presented, the performance reports that they presented were validated, were verified, and they were paid. Moreover, SML's audit reports detected under declarations, misclassifications, and bonded warehouse leakages, leading to official post-entry adjustment and recovery actions by the GRA. Please, can I have the Auditor General's report? I mean, if you claim that, SML has let me just put it mildly, that SML has bought everybody as GRA. I mean, quote and unquote. How about the Auditor General? How about the Auditor General? Look at the letter. Auditor General's report dated the 5th of November, 2020. This is the, and you conduct investigations and you leave out critical information like this because you know it will not go in a favor. Because you know it will go in a favor of SML. Please, we are providing you all these documents. Have an independent assessment of them and tell for yourself whether SML worked or not. And whether the payments given to SML are justifiable or not. In summary, the GRA and not SML retains the cost. They are the custodians of the verified evidence of performance, and their letters affirm that SML delivered value, compliance, and measurable fiscal impact. The person benefiting from the services of SML is telling you that yes, I've benefited. Then you say no, SML has not done anything. Please read the reports for yourselves. Read the letters for yourselves. And tell the Ghanaian people whether SML has worked or not. Ladies and gentlemen, the OSP's claim that petroleum revenue gains since 2020 resulted from natural consumption increases is a fundamental misrepresentation. Before SML, Ghana lost 3.2 billion liters to leakages and under declarations within just 16 months for petrol, diesel, and LPG. When SML was deployed in May 2020, the gap reduced to 260 million liters. And guess what? And this was sustained for over 4.5 years. Data from MPA, and believe me, and look at this, it's not just MPO. The Bank of Ghana confirms this assertion. The Bank of Ghana. And somebody says, nothing was done. Really? I mean, why are we doing this to our state institutions? This very same state institution is telling you that no, the people have worked. Now, SML closing loopholes. No, let me take that sentence again, please. The data from MPA and Bank of Ghana confirms that this was SML's closing loopholes and not natural growth, as claimed by the OSP. Please, you can fact check it. You can check from the Bank of Ghana if this data is correct or not. And the official records, this is what the official record states. The period between January 2019 to April 2020, that's pre-SML. Petroleum liftings by MPA was 6,387,335,043. That's the volumes. GRA taxable volume. Look at the difference. GRA taxable volume was 3,180,526,259 liters. And the gap alone was 3,206,808,783. Now, let's look at post-SML. And this record is at the Bank of Ghana. Post-SML. The liftings for petroleum was 7,404,385,362. And the taxable volume was 7 million. See how SML closed the gap? 7,143,521,507 liters. And the gap was 206,863,885. Now, what accounted for? Even that 260 million, this is what accounted for it. The residual volume of 260 million litres gap covers statutory exemptions and re-exports. That is what accounted for it. SML delivered precisely what GRE contracted it for, closing a historic gap between traded, please, and then these are the variables that the OSP missed. So you cannot pick just one variable, which is the traded volumes. You have to pick the taxable volumes. So the two have to work together, hand in hand. You know, so the OSP's assertion defies SML's role in the downstream, petroleum downstream. So, and therefore, SML did the work, and the data proves it. SML supervision within the sector showed a drastic monthly average increase of taxable volume from 207,885,058 litres to 450,175,163. Please, these figures, please fact check them. You know, you are the mouthpiece. We are taking it through you to the Ghanaian people. For the period January to December 2019 and May 2020 to April 2021, respectively, the increment in taxable volumes of the activities brought in an extra tax revenue. And please listen to this figure: 20,311,574,714, with a tax rate of 1 cedi 44 pesos per litre. Please fact check this. Please. Now we'll talk about the infrastructure that SML has brought in. Between April 2020 and January 2024, SML installed and commissioned meters, commissioned meter systems across 25 petroleum depots nationwide. Each depot featured reliable power systems, remote terminal units, and robust SCADA systems for continuous data transmission. This ensures uninterrupted visibility of petroleum volumes from import discharge to depot release. Now, there's an assertion that OSP made on the waybill scanning and metering infrastructure. Please, let me correct this. A very fundamental misunderstanding in OSP's report regarding waybill scanning and the state of SML's metering infrastructure. First of all, SML's metering infrastructure has been under continuous 24-hour surveillance from the very first day of its deployment up to this moment. Up to this moment, I'm stressing on it. Up to this moment, the system uptime is 99.9%. It has never gone down, not for a single operational day. It's never. So the notion that SML resorted to waybill scanning because metering failed is technically impossible and factually incorrect. The meters have never failed. The waybill is the only document authenticated by every stakeholder involved in the petroleum liftings. And there is no legal point the OSP. There's no legal point. Sorry. There's a legal point, actually, the OSP missed completely. If there is ever a dispute between an oil marketing company and the GRA over taxes, the only evidence is a physical waybill and not the data in DMS or ICOMS. No. It's a waybill. So what did SML do? See, the electronic data may support analysis, but it is a waybill that carries evidentiary weight in litigation. It's a waybill. So the OSP's conclusion that the waybill the way bill scanning was a sign of system failure simply shows a lack of understanding of the petroleum business in the downstream operations. SML used way bill authentication not because metering failed, but because it is a correct and risk-based method of resolving discrepancies outside the ICOMS and ERDMS, that ecosystem. That is the only, the OSP should have sought some education, respectfully, in the field before making that assertion. Because see, claiming that, SML resulted to way bill is incorrect, totally incorrect. Now, to ensure global standard accuracy, SML engaged certified Holy World engineers from the United States, India, Egypt, South Africa, and the Philippines, all legally admitted under Ghana Immigration Service visas. For some, we can't give you those information, but we've sent them to the presidency. These international consultants worked alongside Ghanaian engineers during installation, calibration, and system integration phases. Now, catch this as well. Every system installation was jointly supervised by the GRA themselves, the depot officers, and validated by the Ghana Standards Authority. GRA officially certified SML's clamp on multi-phase ultrasonic flow meters as accurate and legally compliant measurement instrument. Please, can we have the Ghana Standards Authority letters? Please. And this is an institution. We are building institution. They have given letters. They have given certification. And somebody says no. Now, listen, SML, the OSP made an assertion on automatic tank gauging. Please, he got it all wrong there. SML voluntarily installed automatic tank gauging systems in the depots, even though it was not part of the contract, the original contract. Automatic tank gauging was not part of the contract, but SML installed it for a very reason, that they wanted some reassurance, because remember that SML's contract is based on performance. So the more they are able to give accurate measurement, that is where they also make money. So they decided to fix the automatic gauge system, and they fixed it on 8 of them, 8 of the depots, and all the rest are still sitting in the warehouse waiting to be deployed. But there have been some issues with some of the depots, that's why those ones haven't been installed. But it has got nothing to the metering. It has absolutely nothing. Now the remaining sites await approval for installation. The investment was made at SML's own cost, not the state, underscoring the company's commitment to physical accuracy and transparency. Now, SML's downstream system integrates order placing, meter readings, electronic way bills, tax reconciliations, and creating a closed-loop assurance network, and eliminates volume manipulation and strengthens revenue visibility. In effect, SML achieved a full depot coverage, redundant power backup, standard systems, and internationally certified data integrity, a model that surpasses the contractual obligation with GRA and sets a new industry benchmark for petroleum revenue assurance. That's what SML did. Now, this is the part that I feel sad when we denigrate our own institutions. The OSP claimed that SML worked in isolation and without institutional coordination. The record shows the opposite, and I'm going to share all with you. I'm sharing every single one with you. So you make the decision yourselves, whether we are telling the truth or is the OSP spewing falsehood. Between 2020 and 2024, an extensive documentary trail demonstrates structured collaboration between GRA, MPA, Ministry of Finance, GNPC, Petroleum Commission, Ghana Standards Authority, and key industry operators. Now, please give the letter from MPA, dated 10 February 2020, and check who signed. Please look at it. Who signed that letter? Al-Hassan Tampoli. Please also look at the GRA SML Ghana National Petroleum Commission correspondence, April 2023, and check who signed it. Why are we doing this to ourselves? And you see, because SML is an entity, I mean, they do not speak much. In fact, the owner himself doesn't speak much. He's a man of few words. So all we're waiting for is for them to finish their investigations, and then we go and prove or disprove, we disprove whatever they will put across. If it's negative to us, then you don't do that. Then you call a presser and make SML look like as if, oh no, it's sad. Please, the Petroleum Commission Exchange. I want that correspondence. Please, June 2023. Please give it to the media people as well. Hand them to them, please. Now, there are tons of Ministry of Finance memos. Ministry of Finance memos from August 2023. Please hand them. And there's MPA circulars, September 2023 and July 2024. Please hand them all to them. I want the general, let them see for themselves. Let them see for themselves. Hand them all to them. These are official documents. Official documents. There's a Ghana Standards Authority certification, October to November 2024. Please give it to the journalist. Tell our story for us, and the lies should stop. The falsehood should stop. If somebody wants their job, please go and lobby for it. But don't tarnish anybody's image. Don't tarnish SML's image to go and get a job. Don't do that. Now, this multi-agency chain confirms sustained policy alignment, technical supervision, and ministerial endorsement, fully disproving the allegation of non-collaboration. SML's work exists within a coordinated institutional ecosystem and not in a vacuum as alleged by the OSP. Now, the OSP made an assertion that SML ICOMs, there was some fracas and there was some, let me explain that to you, please. Another key misconception in the OSP's report is a claim that SML's role became redundant after the introduction of ICOMs. This is disproven by GRA's own letter, or GRA. Please, this is very, very, very important. Please give me the letter the letter of 5th June 2020. GRA's own letter, signed by the Commissioner General. As for the insinuations of, I'm not lawyer for any of them, so I would only speak for SML. But really, I don't know. I don't know why OSP insinuates. You know? Give facts, not insinuations. You know? The correspondence confirms SML's integration within ICOMS as an external validation layer and not a redundant entity. The deliberate omission of this very important letter in the OSP's report tells his skewed and prejudiced mind in the investigations it conducted. SML's mandate under ICOMS provided the state with an independent control mechanism to monitor digital systems output and detect abnormalities that internal users might overlook or override. A best practice governance safeguard and not a duplication. It's never a duplication. The question here to ask is, how can ICOMS provided an assurance on its own platform? How can that happen? Now, I'd like to speak on the parliamentary approval distortion. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, another major misconception and misrepresentation by the OSP relates to the claim that the contract between SML and the government of Ghana required parliamentary approval under Section 33(1) of the Public Financial Management Act. This claim is factually incorrect and inconsistent with national practice. Let me be clear on this. The GRA SML contract did not create any multi-year financial obligation. It didn't. There was no debt exposure, no contingent liability. In fact, no contingent liability on government. Absolutely no, none. Now, under the law, those are the only circumstances in which parliamentary approval is triggered. In fact, the opposite is true. And please, capture this very well for us, for the people of Ghana to understand. SML funded 100% of the project from its own resources. Every tool, every meter, every server, every solar system, every ICT device, every fiber link, every installation was imported, installed, operated, and maintained at SML's own cost. And more importantly, SML paid all import duties, VAT, levies, and statutory charges, exceeding over 500 million Ghana cedis. And this excludes actual investment. So, if you want to rush to terminate, we are there. You will pay for all that. If that's what you want to do, go ahead. Government did not pay a peswa. Government did not guarantee anything. Government did not provide capital or assume any risk. In fact, government had zero exposure. Zero exposure. Now, payments to SML were not guaranteed, okay, and they were not fixed. In fact, they were not automatic, as being banded around. No, they were strictly performance-based. Performance-based. So when you issue your monthly reports, then VRA does the verifications, and then through through their acceptance and all that, and then they do certification. So it is untrue, so untrue that SML was just not doing anything. They were not presenting monthly, reports. They were just being paid. It's untrue. Now, this model has absolutely no resemblance to the type of contracts that require parliamentary approvals. And please, I want to add to this, for decades, no multi-year contract within GRA, MPA, customs or related agencies, now including West Blue, GCNet, Ghana Link, that's true, ICOMS, the ICOMS operators, Electronic Cargo Tracking Service Provider, Rock Africa, MPA Fuel Marking Service Provider, National Technology Limited, ERDMS. None of these contracts, not even one. So the question is simple. Why is the OSP signaling out SML for a requirement that has never been applied to any other wholly Ghanaian company operating in the same regulatory environment? Why? In fact, there is no precedent, absolutely none. Therefore, there is no factual justification that to the assertion by the OSP. The evidence we have presented to the presidency and the Attorney General shows clearly that the OSP's position is based on a misclassification of the contract. In fact, we have taken heaps and tons of documents to the presidency for them to take their time to, analyze it. And I'm sure they will have a second thought on the termination thing. They will. But if they don't, whatever is due us, we'll take it. SML's contract was lawful, compliant, risk-free to government, and aligned with long-standing public sector practice. Now, I'd like to address some other matters that the OSP mentioned in his presser. Now, the OSP's assertion that 125 million Ghana cedis is to be recovered by the state from SML has no factual and evidentiary basis. It is mere conjecture, and he's just whipping up unnecessary sentiments against SML. In fact, the letters we have given you, the 14th October letter from GRA, they stated clearly that SML has discharged all its duties. SML did everything. In fact, maybe I should read that letter verbatim. Can I have that letter? On a letter, the one signed by the head of legal at the GRA. I got it. Thank you. Got it. Thank you. Reference is made to your letter dated. It's headed response to request for records relating to SML Ghana Limited, January 2019 to December 2024. Reference is made to your letter dated 9th October 2025, requesting for information and records relating to work undertaken by SML Ghana Limited and payments made to the company by the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, for the period January 2019 to December 2024. Now, 1, the records confirming work undertaken. The authority's records confirm that SML Limited undertook work relating to transaction audits and external price verification services and revenue assurance in the petroleum downstream sector, in accordance with the contractual agreement executed with the GRA. Relevant reports and technical documentation covering the work done are available and may be reviewed upon request. The documents are cited with GRA Evidence of payments. Evidence of all payments made to SML Ghana Limited from January 2019 to December 2024 is available and has been compiled. Attached herewith are copies of the payment schedules. Now, total monies paid. The total amount paid to SML Ghana Limited between January 2019 and December 2024 amounts to 1,437,041,835 Ghana cedis. And it breaks down, I don't want to waste your time. So since you have a copy of it, okay, clearly, GREO, they themselves have confirmed that SML, undertook work with them. GRE, their own letter, official document, and it's signed by a very senior lawyer. Please, can I have this? Now, as I said, things that do not relate to SML, I will not comment on it because I'm lawyer for only SML. I'm not lawyer for Ofori-Atta. So I will not make comments with regards to some of the assertions he made in his presser regarding Ofori-Atta. I will not do that. Even for GRA, I wouldn't have mentioned it, but this letter is very important. That's why I reference it. And you see, Mr. Evans Eduse, yes, it's a timber merchant. Yes, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, our own father, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, is a farmer. He touts it that he's a farmer. But it doesn't preclude him from having innovative ideas. So if he takes the Auditor General's report and he looks at it, in fact, as we sit now, presently, there's Public Accounts Committee hearings going on. Are there not? Yes. So if somebody sits and looks at it and says, this thing, there's gap here, there's this, there is that. Let me see how I can fix the problem. Okay? I can own an aeroplane. I don't need to know how to fly it. I'll bring in a person who know how to fly it. And that's exactly what SML did. Yes, it's a timber merchant. In a sarcastic manner in which, the OSP describes it, a timber merchant. And so what? Does it preclude him from having innovative ideas? You see, if other investigative institutions had done this investigation, I'm sure they would have done better. And I'm not surprised that the Attorney General requested for the docket. You see, because the Dominic Ayene we all know is too meticulous. He will not allow such thing. I mean, he will not, churn out such a report. He will never do that. Before he speaks, he knows exactly what he's going to talk about. He will not conjecture. He will not insinuate. He will not do that. It will appear. It will seem. What is that? And these are people's hard-earned reputation. SML has built on their reputation, and they are still in the process of building it. And then you just use few minutes, and you want to, you say all kinds of things against the company. That's so unfair. So unfair. And you see, again, the OSP rubbishes every other report. In fact, even the KPMG's report, he rubbishes it. The part that goes in favor of SML. He said, I don't agree with it. I disagree. And so what? KPMG has more knowledge in that field. And they have come out with a report. So you are picking and choosing. In fact, it is the basis for which we took our response to the presidency. Because you see, I believe that the person of the president's caliber, he will not make decisions just like that. So perhaps he hasn't seen our side of the story. So maybe in the principle, in the light of all the autonomous party rule, we want him to look at our side of the story. That the assertions that he hasn't worked, SML hasn't worked, SML hasn't done this. We have sent all the documents to him. He should look at it and tell the Ghanaian, is it true that SML didn't work? Yet we were being paid. That is the basis for which we've taken all those documents to the presidency and then also to the Attorney General. Because for me, the presumption, yes, we know that the termination directive, as presumptively, will be that it is the Attorney General per Article 88, that because Attorney General is the government's lawyer. So perhaps they know. But I can tell, I believe strongly that Attorney General was not the one who advised government to do that. I can believe, I'm so sure. Because he's too meticulous. Attorney General will never do that. I believe strongly. And then you see, right after OSP's presser, then they went on a barrage of media campaigns. I mean, the entire week, OSP staff are in Adom FM, are here, are there, running the company down. You see, so if, like I said, as lawyers, we only do our talk in a courtroom. But if we sit down, by the time the matter even gets to court, you'd have tarnished, the company would have been, and people will not even understand. Because see, with all these documents, if this matter ends up in court, the balance will tilt more towards SML, frankly. I mean, because, and Ghanaians may not understand, people will not understand, but these people, OSP said they were not doing anything, and now the court has ruled in their favor or something like that. I mean, we don't want that to happen. That is why, and we don't want Ghanaians to have the wrong impression. That is why we are organizing this, to make Ghanaians understand. Through you, these documents must be seen by Ghanaians. They must be seen. They make the judgment by themselves. And I believe strongly this afternoon, since the documents have gotten to the presidency, they will review their decision. They will review it because perhaps their decision to direct for the contract to be terminated was without seeing some of these documents. But as I said, contract of service, I mean, we all know contract of service is not contract of servitude. We cannot force ourselves on government. SML cannot force itself on government to work. I mean, it can't force to work with government. If government wants to terminate a contract, of course, that's fine. Government can, we will go through the process, and what is due SML, we take it. And in an investment overlay, we'll be told everybody, the huge investments that have gone into, all the, the equipment and all that have been brought. Ladies and gentlemen, SML's record is one of institutional compliance, technological excellence, and measurable fiscal contribution. The company has operated under constant oversight from Ghana Revenue Authority, National Petroleum Authority, the Standards Authority, Ministry of Finance, and other stakeholders. The SML's installations have digitalized petroleum flow tracking. SML's audits have enhanced custom valuation integrity, and SML's collaboration have aligned public and private capabilities towards national revenue protection. SML's work has never been secretive. It's never been secretive, has been, alleged. You see, and President Mahama always says something. I mean, he always says something that, you see, when a lie is told over and over and over again, then it will it will appear to people will begin to look at it as a truth. We want to disabuse the falsehood. That's why we have shared all these documents with you. The lies ought to stop. I mean, if anybody wants that job, please go through the right mail and get it. Go and lobby and get it. But don't run around and make comments tarnishing the image of SML. even to the extent that, oh, the company even belongs to Ken Ofori-Atta. Please, in fact, let me make this point. If there is one person who has been a disservice to SML, it's Ken Ofori-Atta. Let me explain to you. If there's one person who has been a disservice to SML and its operation, it's Ken Ofori-Atta. Remember that this contract is a performance-based contract, okay? For 10 months, from the inception of SML, when they did their work, for 10 months, they were never paid. They were never paid. I mean, I can't begrudge Ken Ofori-Atta so much with that, because he also needed to be sure that SML is delivering what it says it is. So he had to. He made the Ghana Audit Service. They had to audit SML before first payment was done. Now let me tell you even the shocking one, the service to SML. Every equipment that SML brought in, Ken Ofori-Atta refused to give SML exemption. SML paid for it. This is a company that OSP is forcing down Ghanaians' throat that it belongs to Ken Ofori-Atta, or Ken has interest in it. So if he has interest, would he not just allow them to bring, give them exemptions so that the thing will go smoothly? Let's be careful. Let's be careful how we treat other Ghanaians. Evan Seduse also has blood running through his veins. Don't force what is not there to be there. Don't do that. And because he doesn't talk much, you run him down like that. So please, it is untrue that Ken Ofori-Atta has interest in SML. It's untrue. SML is an independent, it is wholly for Evans Edusei. It's wholly for him. And for a serious investigative organization like the OSP, you do not work with insinuations. You don't say it will appear as if, it looks like. You don't work with that. Well, circumstantial evidence, but you see, you have to be, when you're piecing them together, you have to be careful. And then you don't come and run down the person like that. You don't do that. So I believe that today's presser, Senior Counsel, 1 or 2 you want to add, please? Okay. All right. So the presser is mainly to stop the misinformation, and also to let Ghanaians know that we have presented evidence to the presidency showing that everything the OSP said was untrue, and for them to relook at the termination directive. But like I said, if they are minded to continue, we have no qualms. We are okay. We will just have to go through the processes so that whatever is due SML is paid to them. It's as simple as that. But if Ghana has so much money that a company that is doing well, that is helping assure, revenue assurance, and you want to just abrogate the contract, you want to terminate it and pay huge money to the person and re-award it, well, for us, we have nothing to say. But if after reviewing and you think that you have to, okay, then let the contract run. Let it run its term. So please, that is all I have for you. But sure, my tree is not too good, but I can let you about the tougher. it's impeccable. But yes, I can summarize it in three. You know. All right, say, I mean, you're lawyers for SML. Myself, name a learned friend. Ohineba Eduse Kuku. My name is Cephas Boyo, actually. Yeah. Yeah, can I say, the documents response for SML on the termination directive, no, Akoma, the presidency. Say, Omun Shim. Say, ye did pass, say, Nyomabi Woha, Omunye.
Well, you